If you've ever tried brushing paint onto carved or detailed furniture, you know it's a total time suck. Drips, brush strokes, missed spots. It is the worst. But I found something that changed everything. I used to think that brushes were my only option because learning how to use a foreign tool was way too complicated. And then trying to brush pieces with curves, grooves, details all over was a nightmare. You gotta constantly keep your eye out for drips. It takes multiple brush strokes to get into all of the details. Brushing one coat of paint onto this cabinet would have taken me over an hour. But guess what? I sprayed a coat of paint onto this same cabinet in less than 10 minutes. And white paint usually takes about 5 coats. So yeah, that's about 5 hours that I saved. And once I realized that, I never looked back. Now I use an HVLP paint sprayer on almost every single piece of furniture. It creates an even coverage everywhere, and it hits all of the hard to reach spots in just seconds. Plus, my painted furniture looks so much better than when I just brushed it on. I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit of a furniture snob when it comes to brush marks on my furniture. I am firmly in the camp of believing that brush marks do not belong on my painted furniture. So I do everything in my power to create furniture that does not have brush marks. Now, you will see me painting furniture with a paintbrush, using different paints and products and techniques, but in my heart and soul, painting furniture with a paint sprayer is where it's at. When I am painting furniture for my own home, for my own purpose, I am spraying that paint on because I don't want to look at brush marks. I test out all of these different types of techniques, not for me at this point, but for you. I'm out here making all of the mistakes while I'm testing out new products, just so that I can help you with your furniture projects. Now, avoiding brush marks is not the only reason to use a paint sprayer. Just the amount of time that using a paint sprayer saves me is absolutely incredible. On a regular sized dresser, you can expect to have to spend about an hour to an hour and a half brushing paint onto that surface, depending on if it's just a flat surface or a curved and detailed surface. The more details and curves, the longer it's going to take you to paint with a paintbrush. Now, you can use different paintbrushes. Round paintbrushes are absolutely amazing to help you get into curves and details, especially if there's a point on the round paintbrush. But still, you're going to spend so much more time brushing paint onto furniture than spraying it. And that's even including any extra prep work that you might want to do when you spray paint your furniture instead of brushing your paint on. If you're just getting started with a paint sprayer, don't worry. I have a proven system that I have used over and over for the last 9 years. This helps prevent clogs or any other issues that might come up if you don't follow this system. There is a little bit more to it than just pour the paint into the paint sprayer and go to work. Depending on the type of paint you use and the paint sprayer that you use, you may have to thin your paint before you can spray it out. Sometimes you can just spray your paint straight without doing anything else with the paint sprayer that you have, but more often than not, you're going to have to do a couple of things to get the paint sprayer to spray correctly, or honestly, just to make the finish look a million times better. We have a couple of little secret weapons in our system that make painting furniture with a paint sprayer a breeze. You might be wondering, what paint sprayer should I even use? How am I going to afford a $300 paint sprayer? Well, guess what? The paint sprayer that I use over and over again is less than $50. It comes with everything that you need, and it is so easy to set up. You don't need an air compressor. You don't need any other fancy equipment. You literally just plug it into the wall and you can spray your paint. I'm going to be completely honest with you though, this beginner paint sprayer is not my all-time favorite paint sprayer. I actually really enjoy the Wagner Flexio series of paint sprayers. They are a little bit more expensive, but they are not outrageously expensive. Think like $100 or $200. The first time that I used the paint sprayer, I was terrified. There was no information out there on how to use a paint sprayer to paint furniture. I didn't know what type of paint to use. I didn't know how to thin the paint, what to even thin the paint with. I had no idea what settings to use, There was no information out there. And so I had to just go at it, trial and error, make so many mistakes until I learned the system. And once I knew the system, easy peasy. I can repeat it every single time I paint furniture. That's exactly why I created my step-by-step system in my furniture painting course. So you don't have to learn the hard way like I did. And no, you don't need any fancy setup. As long as you have access to outside, a garage, some plastic, a small area to spray your paint, you're good to go. For years, I just used my backyard. I laid down some plastic, put 4 5-gallon buckets on top of the plastic, and then set my furniture on top. And then I was able to spray. I also sometimes use my garage. I hang up some plastic on the wall and I go to work. It doesn't have to be complicated. And the cleanup is really simple. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to clean out my paint sprayer, whereas to be honest, a paintbrush takes about the same amount of time because the paint won't come out from the inside of the paintbrush. So if you've got a carved or grooved piece you've been putting off painting because the idea of brushing the paint onto the furniture just sounds miserable, try spraying instead. I've dropped my favorite beginner paint sprayer and my other favorite paint sprayers in the description so you can check them out. Once I switched to using a paint sprayer, I didn't dread painting detailed furniture like this or painting furniture white because the paint sprayer makes it so much faster. In this next video, I'm breaking down 3 simple hacks that saved me hours on this piece of furniture, and they'll help your project go smoother too. Click here to watch it now.